Hey there, my name is AJ Pickett and I make videos about role-playing games, particularly the literature and lore of Dungeons & Dragons and the Forgotten Realms world setting. I was contacted by Jeff at Tuque Games back in 2018, and for a few months of 2018 and 2019 I provided my research skills and general experience with Forgotten Realms lore to help the writing and design team with lots of deep lore details that they could pour into the visuals and discoverable lore parts of the game they were developing. This was still in the early stages, but it was just before they produced a gameplay demo that was so impressive, Wizards of the Coast decided to partner up completely with Tuque, and from there on in my expertise was understandably no longer required since they had complete access to Wizards of the Coast own resources and more importantly had information on what Wizards of the Coast was planning for future releases that I was not privy to. I did get a little bit of access to the Wizards of the Coast company server, and I had at least one of my ideas get an approval nod from the Wizards of the Coast D&D creative director, so I'm most curious to see if that part made it into the game. I don't know though. Anyway, my role was not huge, but the money was good and it was a very interesting and fun experience. I'm very grateful for the team at Tuque, particularly Jeff Hatton for including me, and I hope everyone enjoys some of the rich details this game included to really bring that authentic feel for adventuring in the frozen north of the continent of Faerun on the world of Toril. I have snipped all the gameplay and art asset segments out of the promo videos that is publicly available for everybody to watch, and I'm just going to go through them and explain what I am seeing here, as I think I have a pretty good idea of what's going on, and to be honest I don't really know the fine details of the actual game, which has expanded a huge amount since Wizards of the Coast took it on board and basically doubled the budget and team, so I don't think I'll be spoiling anything, but you should be warned I will be naming the bad guys, discussing locations, timelines, source material and stuff that I provided a bit of input into that I can recognize in the artwork and stuff and the assets that we see. Okay, so let's go. I've slowed the footage down to a quarter speed so you can have a better look at it. Okay, so what we have here, it looks very much like a black ice beholder. I'll talk a little bit more about them later. We've got some wraiths who seem to be fairly corporeal there. We've got Biggrin, the giant. He's the second, well, he's basically command of the verbeeg giants. We've got a fire giant, and that looks to be probably a wight. We'll talk a little bit more about that. Nice claws. Okay, here we have Bruenor Battlehammer with his tankard on his back, attacking with his axe. He's very distinctive with his single horn on his helm, and that's the fire giant. It seems a bit chunky for a fire giant. Could be a fire giant. Probably a fire giant, which is why he survives the lava long enough to throw the finger. Nice touch. As you can see by the background there. So black ice beholders are not regular beholders, they're corruptions of black ice, which is a form of mineral that is from a deposit underneath a magical artifact or a discharge, such as when Crenshinibon, one of the crystal towers, was destroyed. That could possibly be Barrick Hammerstone, I'm not entirely sure. He's a black ice crafter. Here we have a wulfgar attacking a troll with aegis fang. That's cattie-brie, doing a nice judo flying axe kick type thing. Powerful troll. Biggrin is in command of the verbeeg giants. He's looks like he's channeling a lot of ice power from that helm he has there. And it's not a dragon helm as far as I can tell, it looks like a demon helm of some kind. We may actually see that manifest later on. There's a demon-y looking thing which I'm thinking is not akar, demon Ertu, the Balor, which it doesn't show up in these, but we could expect to see Ertu at some point. That interesting character there, not entirely sure who that could be. Looks like, could be a troll. Not really sure. There's probably going to be a few undead around in this one. Interesting lighting effects there, though, for sure. Nice shot of Bruenor's helm. Here's some verbeegs and sort of juggalo makeup, which is quite fitting, I thought. Spear warriors, they use their spears a lot. Now this is interesting. That is Akar Kessell in the form of a wight. He's not a lich. Those are not liches around him. They are wights who probably just resurrected him, or he's been resurrecting the wights. So yeah, not a lich. I've seen a lot of people say it's possibly a famous lich, but no. We can see by the architecture around here that this is Mithral Hall. This is dwarven architecture. And later on I'm going to be pointing out where some of the giant architecture and monuments are coming into play. And also goblins. There's a lot of goblins and hobgoblins and stuff in this one. I think that's a large part of the start of all the quests will be through goblin territory, getting to the area of the Spine of the World Mountains, which are Mithral Hall is located in Fourth Peak Mountain in the Frost Hills part of the Spine of the World, so you're going to be travelling through the Spine of the Worlds from Icewind Dale. That is Icingdeath, otherwise known as Ingle Oak Astomy Zillion, a male white dragon that Drizzt and Wulfgar very famously fought, and that's where Drizzt got one of his swords from the hoard of that dragon. Really nice shot of its breath weapon there. Massive blast of cold energy. And flying through some that could possibly be settlestone, and that is definitely settlestone or around Icewind Dale, around, not entirely sure, that's definitely a crystal shard of some kind, possibly black ice. That I think is settlestone, but see those monoliths there? This is the confusing bit. I don't really know what that is. Lovely pictures of some fortified areas at some underground areas, I think. Not entirely sure what's going on in the Graves area. That's a goblin settlement for sure. Here we have some giant architecture, and that's some dwarven arena type stuff, and that's the fight with the black ice beholder, and some more dwarven stuff going on. Lots of giant architecture there, really nice shot. That is inside Mithral Hall, and looks like a nice power walking, good size comparison there with showing the frost giants. That's a knoll. Got to be quite a few knolls in here. That's just a body one without the fur and stuff on the outside. Here we have a totem, and this is a good example of some giant script. That's stone giant, by the way, and you can actually read it. That's broken arrows from the orcs, I think. Those tablets there are discoverable lore artifacts that you find during the game. Here we have some more giant architecture, channeling a lot of elemental power. That looks like it could be inside Kelvin's Cairn. Lots of design elements there. Boom! Good shot of Wulfgar. He's about 7 foot tall, about mid-20s in age at the time of this. And they've got Aegis Fang here as a double-handed weapon. It's usually single-handed. That's one of the shrines, one of the hills of the Reged barbarian people. There's some knolls. This is the origin of Crystal Shard. He's holding the Crystal Shard in his hand there, called crenshinibon. This is in ancient, where would that be? Saqqara, where a sultan raised 100 different towers of crenshinibon. So those are the crystal towers there. That looks like some giant architecture again. And this is definitely inside Mithral Hall. Here we have a ceremony to Maglubliet. Don't know what that is. Could be the Abyss. Could be the Nine Hells. Don't know. Pretty awesome though. That could possibly be, yeah, not sure. World map seems fairly extensive, covering a lot of faerun. Be interesting if they actually do have stuff going on elsewhere. Looks like you pass through the goblin settlements to get into Mithral Hall, possibly. That is inside Crenshinibon, or possibly a black iced citadel created by Akar Kessell. This is more dwarvenness in the Underdark. Again, not entirely sure. Could be a duergar, a grey dwarf. Yeah, don't know who that is. Seems pretty awesome. Seems quite elemental or witchy, sort of like, I don't know. Great shot of the Underdark there. And goblins, or hobgoblins. Possibly split screen multiplayer shot? Don't know. Doesn't seem to be happening at the same time. Verbeeg, goblins, different types of goblins, gnolls, lots of individual characteristics, trolls, undead, wight, more trolls. Fantastic. Great shot of a flyby. Drizzt, and this is wights raising up Akar Kessell, or raising up another one, using the black ice to resurrect them. And of course, biggrin. So named because he had his top lip torn off by a wolf. Oh, that's the ceremony of the Maglubliet. Fantastic siege type weapon. Oh, don't know what that is, but it looks cool. And again, massive army of, could be hobgoblins. And the companions of the hall. Alright, and that's, yeah. I'll just talk about some stuff that I know from, so we're going to be definitely seeing Calvin's Cairn, a goblin city of some kind. We're going to be seeing the later stages of Crenshinibon, the Crystal Shard, and its iteration when it was post-destruction, and possibly Akar Kessell gaining power over the Black Ice, and possibly some chardalyn, which is, chardalyn is a crystal substance that's found in Netheril and in other places, but it's different from Black Ice. That's the corrupted ice from Crenshinibon. We're going to see cattie-brie, and she's in her 30s. Bruenor Battlehammer, he's between 240 250 years old. Drizzt, about the age of 60 or 70. We're definitely going to see some of the spell-like powers of Drizzt and the gameplay. They'll all have like area effects type things that they can do with hammer blows and arrows and sweeping kicks and lots of charges and shield bashes and all sorts of stuff. Possibly some more information about like the Elk tribe and the Red barbarians. Some more information about icingdeath. Mithral Hall is probably going to feature a lot. Verbeeg giants and wights, and yeah, what Akar Kessell is getting up to. So very interesting, and I'm looking forward to what else they're going to be throwing at us in snippets and previews that I can give some insight in, hopefully.